In the commodity space, and surging commodity prices are giving Diatreme Resources a big boost with its Eucla Basin project in Western Australia, now valued at $172 million. The company's executive chairman, Tony Fawdon, says that the upgrade reflects the bullish outlook for Zircon in particular, and he joins us now live from our Brisbane studio. Tony, first of all, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Where's this demand for Zircon coming from?
Well, most of the zircon demand is coming from right across the world, but certainly about 40 to 50% of it's coming out of China, and a good whack of that's coming out of India as well. The total consumption in the world is about 1.3 million tonnes, and that's increasing every year.
And so this is used in construction, is it?
It's used in multiple uses, mainly in ceramics. It gives the hard facing and the colour to the tiles that people buy. And also it's used in aerospace. It's used as part of human bone replacements because it's very compatible with human flesh. It's used also in ceramic heating and other appliances.
Okay, so what's the price outlook for zircon and other mineral sands?
Right, well, the good thing about, from an explorer and miner's point of view, is that there's going to be a shortage of about 100 to 200,000 tonnes in the next few years per year. So we can expect to see prices very soon going to about $1,500 US a tonne for zircon. And we'll probably see a doubling of the rutile price, probably to $1,000 a tonne. So just for rutile alone, that's titanium. So in terms of where the whole market is going, that we cannot supply the market, certainly in terms of the high-grade titanium and zircon, that is going to be in very, very short supply, probably for the next 10 years.
Okay, that's what my next question sort of was about. So how fast do you have to get this stuff out of the ground to cash in on those prices and that growing demand, you know, especially coming from China and India?
Yeah, I'd have to say that we will be trying to get this out by the end of 2014-15. That's where we're aiming for. The position is, though, that there's going to be a shortage right through to 2020 and beyond. No one can predict what's happening there. I guess the central question when it comes to zircon and rutile is that there are no foreseeable mines coming on production beyond probably 2 operations in the next 5 years. And it takes at least 10 years to find and bring zircon mines into production.
So you are working towards bringing an additional mine into production. The share price in your company has soared over the past few weeks. So how has this sort of enhanced your financial commitment to investment and expansion?
Well, it's done very well indeed. We now are funded to take the pre-feasibility through to the feasibility, and we should finish the feasibility basically with the funds we have in place at the moment and funds being promised. We are doing a joint venture with a Chinese group called Diatreme, and in the process of doing the due diligence for that right now. And the position will be that once we get all this in place, then we will have the funding to take it right through to mining.
And this is a Cyclone Zircon project that we're talking about in WA?
That is correct. We have about 1 million tonnes there of zircon in the ground presently. We have about 400,000 tonnes of rutile, about 553,000 tonnes of high-tide titanium in the ground, and some minor amount of altered ilmenite. So that's only worth it.
Yeah, what is your investment commitment for that project?
It's going to take, from woe to go, about $200 million $200 million capex. And that will involve not only putting up a wet plant and the mining machinery, but also haulage roads down to the transline around Forest. And that will also include a mineral separations plant to take it to the final product.
I'm curious to know, especially working in WA, how you're being affected by the skills shortage, or how do you plan for a skills shortage? Because while this project will create jobs, it's also getting harder and harder to find the people to actually do the digging. So how does a growing company, but a relatively small company such as Diatreme, compete with some of the big boys?
Well, we've got a couple of years up our sleeve. We have some very, very fine engineers and geological people and metallurgical people working with us, and we will train those people as we need them. We also are right in the middle of the Pilla Nauru Aboriginal people. It's their freehold land, and they're very keen to get this operation up, so we'll probably have about at least 20% of the workforce will be of Aboriginal people who have to be trained as well.
That's an interesting one. Just looking further afield from WA, the company's also exploring for copper and base metals in Queensland. How is this progressing? I mean, how soon might you make the progression from explorer to miner there?
Right. We have some major projects, very good ones in Claremont, for example, where we have a big porphyry copper gold system, molybdenum system. We have spent considerable sums of money there, and at the present time we are probably going to joint venture. We've got several people looking at it right now to joint venture, taking the projects forward. It's obvious that as a small company we have to concentrate very heavily on the Cyclone deposit. Okay, so that's your focus.
You've mentioned a couple of joint ventures to get some of these projects up and running, but we do have the likes of Minmetals out there saying that it's looking for companies to take over. Granted, Minmetals in particular is looking at big targets. Still though, do you see Diatreme as a potential takeover target?
Well, we've been threatened to be taken over for the last 5 years, since we found the Cyclone deposit. Let me just backstep a bit here, Nadine. The position is that there are probably two major zircon deposits in the world. One is the Iluka's Jacinth Ambrosia, and the other one is Diatreme's Cyclone. So these are unique. They're probably the only type of zircon deposits of their style. The rest of the world really is awash with titanium and ilmenite, and zircon is a minor byproduct. Now, the position is that there will be people obviously eyeing us, and all I can say is at this point in time that our shareholders are committed to going to mining and to making this as a company maker. And I guess the position is that if somebody wants to take us over, well, the offer would have to be extremely good, or they're going to have to come in a hostile manner, and they might get the first 10% of the company, but the rest is going to be very difficult to get hold of.
Tony, we'll leave it on that note. We do appreciate you coming in and updating us on Diatreme's exciting future.
Thank you very much, Nadine. Thank you.
That's Tony Fawdon. He's the executive chairman of Diatreme. We do have to take a short break.